Hi everybody, my name is Tor, and this is just a basic intro into crafting Guild Wars 2. This is not going to be an extensive look into crafting Guild Wars 2, as this is one of my first videos. This is meant just to give you introduction into getting familiar with the crafting interface, how to discover recipes, and some buildings that you may want to be familiar with when you're searching for or purchasing not necessary components to do the crafting. So we are in Lion's Arch in the Eastern Ward. This is where all the sewer gates are from the other cities. And if you're not already familiar with Lion's Arch here, a couple of important places is the Octopus building here is the bank. Speak to any of the NPCs and you'll be able to access your in-game bank. The Starfish Pavilion in front of us, that is a crafting pavilion that houses the different crafting stations and the NPCs that man them. And finally, the Conch Shell building here, that is the Black Lion Trading Company. That is the in-game marketplace. Speak to any of the Black Lion traders inside the building and you'll be able to retrieve your purchases. So the different crafting stations that are in Guild Wars 2, and I'm going to run by their insignias here, is cooking, weaponsmithing, artificing, leather worker, huntsman, armor smithing, jewelry making, and tailoring. If you want an idea of what a particular crafting profession can make, go up to the master NPC of that station, engage in a conversation,
All things have a right
and
to grow.
one of the options is you can simply ask them what they can do, and they'll let you know what easy you can do. As an example, with the cook, go over to the cook, ask them what can you craft, and they'll let you know. Once you have decided on a profession, go to that NPC, and one of the options is to make you a crafter in that profession, and you'll unlock that profession. Now, please bear in mind, you can only have 2 crafting possessions per tune. If you want to unlock a third, you will need to make an alternate tune, or you will need to purchase an alternative, or you want to purchase an extra crafting license from the gem store, the Black Lion Trading Company. So on this character, I have already unlocked weaponsmithing. Let's unlock armor smithing just to demonstrate. So unlock armor smithing, select this option here. You'll have a small fee, and then we are now a weaponsmith. Thanks for your time. So to open up, go into the crafting station. You will see down here the prompt to open up the station, and there you go. So I've been playing the game for a while, so unfortunately I already have a bunch of recipes, but the recipes in red, those are ones you do not meet the requirements for, so you can't craft those. What you're looking for is recipes that are in some shade of yellow or other color than dull white, because that means you will get experience from creating those. So this is the production tab. This houses all your recipes. If you click on the different sections, you can collapse them. I like to collapse them all at once just to get rid of all the confusion here. Now, when you first unlock, your first recipes will be in the refinement, basically how to make a bronze ingot, a bolt of a fabric, in this case jute, or maybe even wood planks. You'll want to go and just make some ingots, make some jutes until you start unlocking insignias. We'll say why these will be important later on. But to but this is the second tab down. The third tab down is your in-game bank. This will show you, your bank tabs when you retrieve items from your bank. The fourth one down is your material storage. As you go through the game and you collect in-game crafting materials, as a demonstration here, simply click on deposit all materials and they'll disappear and they'll go into here. The fifth tab down is your wardrobe storage, and in my experience I've hardly ever gone into here other than as pure curiosity because there are other menus in the game that where you can access the same information. The top tab is your discovery tab, and this is where you can drag and drop items into these 4 boxes in order to discover recipes. Now, as long as a recipe is orange or some other shade other than red or dull white, you will get experience from. As you level up, the same recipes will give you less and less. But let's go ahead and discover a recipe here. And okay, I don't really have many leggings, so what you first want to do is to make the 2 parts of your leggings, and this is true of every armor piece or weapon piece that you can make. There are 2 parts. There is like the boot lining, the boot panel, your chest armor padding and panel, your glove lining and panel. And how many gloves do I have? Okay, I don't have mighty gloves. Okay, so let's start off with making our gloves here. And if you click on the recipe here, it'll show up here. And some items you will have to purchase from the NPC. Others you will have to find in the game. Let's exit from here, and if you go to the NPC, select the option I need supplies, and this screen here, this is the basic crafting materials that they do sell. As you gain in higher levels, you may be interested in what's in the lower tabs here. You can also sell stuff to them, and you can also buy back items that you sell. But you want to be vaguely familiar with what is in this first thing here, because this will save you a little bit of time from trying to find them in the game, because you won't find these in the game. You have to buy them. So, our example here. Let us shrink everything here. So, crafting components. Let's make a glove recipe here. Now, let's say I didn't have any bolts of jute here. Say this particular thing I did not have anything on. Now, instead of going into the list on the left-hand side and finding that recipe here, I can simply click on the magnifying glass, and this will bring up that recipe. And then I can go ahead and craft that recipe and then close to go to the previous one. Now, I do not suggest clicking the craft all here, because that will consume all the resources to that one recipe. If you need to make multiple of one recipe, I suggest just using the arrows on the left here. You can then just select how many you need, hit craft, and you will craft those. And now, since the recipe for bolt of jute is yellow, we did get experience from that, but not a whole lot. So we want to make a bronze glove. Let's make a bronze glove, and we get some experience for that. Now we need the other half, and this is the other half of the glove, the bronze chain glove panel. Let's go ahead and craft one. Now, as another example, let's go ahead and make a pair of, let's see, this pair of boots. Do I have mighty? Okay. So we'll make a boot lining. The other half of the boot lining is the boot panel. So here. So now, if you go to the Discovery tab, notice we now have things we can put in. So if you put in our glove, we put on our first half of our glove, second half of our glove, Notice down here in the tan square it says 13 possible unknown recipes. So we're on the right track, but we're not complete. We're missing something here. So let's hit reset and let's go back. And what we're missing here are the insignias. And let's see, let's make one of each. So let's craft a vital insignia and a mighty or malign insignia. And I think I already have mighty on the two examples I have, but we'll just make one just in case. So this is the miss. So these insignias are the missing thing. This is what turns a basic recipe into a like a mighty gloves, malign gloves, vital gloves. And that's what you're going to get, and this is what it could give you the best amount of discovering these recipes. Is really going to give you a lot of experience here. So we put our first half of our gloves here, a second half of our gloves, and we actually still have all three insignias available here. So let's take our mighty, and once we have the insignia here, now it's telling us that we've actually have a recipe that we can craft. Go ahead and click craft, and then we'll gain. And just like that, we've gained 3 levels. Now, you don't have to exit here. If you still have materials to discover more recipes, you can just simply continue. So we can put on our boot half here, the second half of our boot, and we still can use either of these insignias to make a recipe. Let's do the malign one. And again, we have an indication we can actually make a recipe. Click craft, and there you go. And that is the best way to gain crafting levels. And as you gain crafting levels, you'll also get experience for your own levels. And if you switch over to the armor smithing station, the other station I have unlocked with this character, it works the same way. Now I've been practicing on this one, so we'll have to see what I can unlock here. And I have mighty bronze dagger, so I can make a dagger with the other inscriptions. So we'll just do one here. So go to crafting components again, and let's make our 2 halves of the dagger, the blade, and the hilt. And then let's go down to, now in this case they're called inscriptions, but they're still insignias. Now if you look at the dagger recipe, we already have the mighty, so we don't want to make a mighty. Let's make a vital. Now notice notice it won't let me craft here. I'm missing something. So I don't have any greenwood dowels. Let's click on the magnifying glass, bring up the dowel recipe. Here, thankfully I have 1 greenwood plank, but if I didn't have any greenwood planks, I can click on the magnifying glass again, drill it down to the greenwood plank recipe. I can click craft to make one, click close, and it'll go back to the previous recipe. I can then craft there, click close, and this saves a bunch of time from trying to dig through the list here on the left-hand side when you're trying to when you're trying to just do a crafting session of just discovering all of these things. So now we have enough to make our insignia. So let's go ahead and craft. Go ahead and close, and back to the discovery tab here. So in this case, we'll put in our bronze blade, our dagger hilt, and then notice everything is grayed out except for the inscription. Go ahead and put that in, and again, it shows we are able to make a recipe. Go ahead and click craft, and there you go. Now there are guides online if you want to fast track your leveling from 1 to 400 or 1 to 500. There are guides online. Just Google whatever your profession is, like weaponsmith 1 to 400, weaponsmith 400 to 500, and you'll find different guides. Some guides will give you a recipe, will give you a shopping list of raw materials that you will need to follow their guide. Others won't. So you want to so before you commit to a guide, you just want to look around and see if it fits the format that you're looking for. Anyway, one thing before we go, one thing I forgot to mention here is the jeweler operates just a bit differently than the others. And if you look on the list on the left-hand side, you notice there's no insignias or inscriptions to work with here. That's because jeweler uses, instead of the inscriptions, the jeweler uses the gems itself. So if you look at if I pull up the different copper rings here, you notice they still have the basic components, a copper setting and a copper band. And if I pull up a basic earring here, it's the same. A copper hook and a copper setting. The only thing that changes is instead of, when you go to the Discovery tab, instead of throwing in the hook, the setting, and an inscription, you're throwing in a gem or a stone. And based on the type of stone you put in, it gives you a different recipe. And as you level up, you'll upgrade to different metals, but also get different recipes for more ornate gems. And it's the same with the inscriptions. As you level up with the other professions, you'll get work with new materials, but also get recipes for more ornate and more powerful inscriptions, which enable you to create more and more powerful gear. But anyway, this concludes our look into the basic. This concludes our basic look into Guild Wars 2 crafting system. Hopefully this gives you enough information to get started. But whatever activity you have in Guild Wars 2, most important thing is to just have fun. And thanks for watching.